Hi, I'm Dr. Ian Johnston, and we're continuing our series on playing in the Cerner sandbox. The last time we spent a bit of time organizing our patient charts so it was more convenient to work with, and now we're going to get down to the business of entering orders. So here we are back in the patient chart. As with many things with Cerner, there are lots of different ways to do the same thing. When entering orders, we can enter orders individually. We can do this by going to the new order entry tab and entering our selections. We could do the same thing by going to the dark menu and asking to add orders. The look is slightly different, but the process is virtually the same. What I'm going to focus on today is perhaps the most efficient way to order a large number of items at the same time, and that's through the use of order sets. The E-Volve team has spent quite a huge amount of time organizing a large number of order sets to cover many different clinical situations, and it's well worth learning how to utilize them. Probably the easiest way to do this is to stay in the inpatient workflow as recommended by Cerner. I'm a pediatrician, so I'm partial to the pediatric order sets. So we'll enter a few letters that pertain to pediatrics, and we see that we have a large number of orders here, and a quick scan suggests that none of them are what I'm looking for, which would be some sort of pediatric order set. Now the trick here is that the order sets, for whatever reason, are always placed last in the selection list. So it's always good to push the last button, and we can see now quite a few pediatric order sets. Order sets are marked by this yellow icon. We call it a pizza box because it looks like a box with little bits of pizza in it, perhaps. In any event, all of these are pediatric order sets. I'm going to pick the most common one, the pediatric general admission order set. Now, as with many things in Cerner, one might think that one has already ordered the admission order set, but in fact we've just placed it in our to-do list, and our to-do list is this little filing box up at the top, and we can see that as soon as we click this, we got the little number 1 beside it. If we click on that, we see what we have in front of us to deal with, and it says orders for signature, PEDS admission order set. Now, if I tried to sign this, I would get all sorts of complaints from Cerner because, as you can imagine, one doesn't just pick up an order set and sign it. There are many choices to be made. So what one would do generally is, when you have the order set, first thing would be to modify the details. So we click that, we wait a second, and what we have appear is the pediatric order set with a few pre-selected items and then many items that we have to make decisions about. This will look fairly familiar. We have to choose diet, we have to choose activity, we have to choose what kind of monitoring we want, and so on. It's all really quite straightforward. Now, there are a few issues to take note of. We see here, it looks like little groupings of pizza boxes. And what these are is order sets within order sets. So they're called subphases. So the decision was made that it would make a very long and cumbersome order set if in the pediatric general order set we had all of the IV fluids. So what we did was we clumped them all together in a subphase. So if we want to look at IV fluids individually, we can click that, And now we have a bigger list of all the different IV fluids which we would commonly use. So perhaps we want to use normal saline, and that's terrific. And once that's been clicked off, we want to return to the main order set. We can see the return to the main order set button up here. And there we go. We have chosen our fluid. Similarly, rather than give all the Tylenol or Advil doses listed out, which makes the main order set long, we have set that into a subphase as well. Perhaps I want to give PRN dosing of 5 milligrams per kilogram, perhaps because I don't know the appropriate dose of ibuprofen. There we go. It's all spelled out for us. And then we will return to the pediatric admission order set, and we're ready to continue. We can make whatever other choices we would like to make. We can choose our lab studies and diagnostic image studies as well. Now, most often, or very often, there will be some specific tests that you want to include in the plan, which isn't part of the order set. And that's easily done by clicking the Add to Phase button at the top. And if, for example, I would like to add an order for something specific, perhaps I wanted a copper level or something, I can order that, and that will be added to the set of orders. Now, once I'm satisfied with everything that I have done, then I can move on and assign the orders. So I'll say, let's initiate this now. Cerner seems fairly happy with me. I've filled in all of the required fields. I'll look at what I've actually ordered. I've ordered a regular diet. I've ordered some monitoring. But oh my goodness, I see here that there's a little X. So there's a problem there. The little blue X means that this order is incomplete. So I can click on that and I say, oh dear, I didn't write the rate, which is quite a reasonable thing to require. So I'll enter the rate, and then we will carry on. And hopefully Cerner will be happy with me. We can then go back and review the order profile to make sure that those orders have been added. I can see, yes, the random copper was added. I have an order for ibuprofen that I added. Everything seems to be in order. So we've had a successful completion to that order set.